folks, welcome to the finale. The hardship, the fighting, everything during the season, and everything is about to be clashing to an end. But guys, I'm your caster Retro Cat, and joined by my lovely co-caster. You might know him. He's been co-casting with me throughout the entire season. Air name not found. Air, what do you think's gonna happen during this finale match?
Well, honestly, this has been the season-defining matchup. Really, Immortal versus Nexus. It's a match we've seen plenty of times, and it's always been engaging and fun to see. So I'm excited to see what both teams bring to the table. I know it's going to be a hectic, fun match to watch, and I'm excited to see what the top level of play is for this game.
If I'm not mistaken, I think there's money on the line. Am I correct about that?
I believe there is somewhat of a cash prize somewhere in the $200 to $250 range, if I'm remembering correctly. Of course, that is split amongst the players, so each player will earn about $60 if my estimates are correct and my numbers are correct.
That is a lot of dollar dues, and that's you can buy a lot of ice cream with that. Yeah, but I just can't wait to cast these guys. Oh boy. It's sad coming to the end. It's been a great season overall. Hopefully we get to do more stuff like this during next season.
Well, thankfully, this is actually just the preseason, so we'll get the opportunity, hopefully, to see more matches with an ever-changing meta as we've seen. It seems like everyone's reading out.
Hopefully we'll have some new teams next season too as well. Looks like we are about to go in here, guys. All right, Aaron, take it away.
All right, both teams pushing out here strong. It's kind of a first race to the point here. A strong, even push through tunnels, but a strong boost to pad first, try and take out the players from blue team here. A quick translocator from Matapara, and Immortal is quickly picked off. That movement from Nexus has always been one of their greatest advantages, but Berg using the advantage of surprise, making good moves all the time. Berg and Rev taking out two players from Nexus here. Robo looking for an angle, but it seems like Immortal has claimed the point first here, which is interesting given that their last match went in favor of Nexus. So it's great to see that these teams are changing and evolving to try and beat each other and at this highest level of gameplay.
And the boy is about to look. And we are in the finale here. And who's going to be taking the first point in this finale? And it's going to be Nexus indeed capturing the point. Just they're chasing after this guy right now, Tenacious Zebra. He's just going to be a little bit dead in that corner. They're going to be taking that point to their advantage there. Waiting for just setting up their defense. They're going to be using that threat scanner to an advantage there. Going to be waiting for them to come back in. And they're going to be sitting there at that corner. Going to be firing some meteor shots. But it looks like they are going to maybe going in for a push. They're kind of standing their ground a little bit. But yeah.
Absolutely. This is great play from Immortal. They noticed that Tenacious was staggered from them, and they waited for the team, but it seems like this push is not going in terms of Immortal's favor. They are reclaiming the point, but that will give them bad spawn time, so that is something to note. But regardless, it seems like Nexus has claimed the point.
They had that momentum, and I'd say they had that momentum to get that point. But, overall, it just didn't work out as it was intended. But it looks like they're going to be going straight back up and going to go. But they're going to shoot Krabby Co. Two people in the point right now. Maybe this is a good time for a rush right now. But it looks like there is difficult Jets is there just to stop it. But it looks like they're going to be pushing up onto that point. Going to be going back to the Rumble Crate. They have that for an advantage. We are at 77-0. They're going to need to take the point by now as they're going to contest this point here. They're going to stand their ground. They're going to go straight around. Default Jets at the bottom. He's super low. They're going to be rushing it straight back in. Immortals taking the point. But no! They're going to be grabbing back. It's Krabby Go and everything. They're not going down without a fight. Will this fight come over? And will the captain go down with his ship in their back? And it looks like it is still going to Immortals as they just took the point.
Absolutely. Berg using that stun field that he's been practicing with all season, and we love to see that finally paying off and eliminating any sort of stagger that Krabby Crow was trying to pull in that initial fight.
Looks like they're going to be fighting in this. A lot of shooting going on. It's a little scary. But looks like they're going straight back in there. They're going to take that possession. Nice little heal right there. But looks like Nexus is coming on top, and they're going to be taking it in. And all they're going to need to do now is they're just going to need to chill and rock that hard defense.
Absolutely. Krabby holding that position, not allowing any movement to get up to speed, forcing Tenacious down to low health before they can even get to point. Using sort of forcing a combustion map style onto the map, and they take this first round.
First round in the books. Nexus with that win overall. But you know, it was a great match. What would you say that Immortals would need to do next round to maybe get this matchup point air?
Well, they did a good job of making sure that they didn't get staggered, but I would say perfecting that movement might be the best choice of action for them, as their slow pushes kind of were their demise, especially with Krabby holding their pillar, and that's something you really can't abide by.
Yeah, I do agree. But you know, it could be. Let's see. Maybe the tables will change as both teams are out right now. They're going straight over, trying to go straight back up from top, looking for that defense point. And be shooting straight back over. They're gonna be clutching in onto the point here. They're just gonna go into a straight up gun battle here. All of them pushing on each other. I don't know if this is a smart idea move, but it looks like it is working out for Nexus as they're getting the damage they need. They're just going around. They're pushing here, beating them on top here. It looks like all of them are down, and the point's unlocking, and Nexus is going to be taking the point.
It's very interesting to see the two different play styles that we see emerging here, with Nexus holding very similar positions all the time, very consistent in their play style, kind of if it's broke, don't fix it, while Immortal is always trying to change and best them at their own game there.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Which they're going to be pushing straight back up on here. Tenacious Zebra going straight back down. He's going to die. Jet's going to be using the heals as possible. They went in for the push. I saw the ideal vision there, but the vision just did not come true. And I don't know. I got to just say, Nexus is playing really good defense right now. I don't know how Immortals... I think Immortals is a little bit too pushy. I think they're just... Maybe they're rushing in a little bit too much.
I would agree with that sentiment, especially given that a lot of these players are taking early damage from Krabby holding that pillar when they could get a good stagger on Krabby and leave him alone. But they're just pushing past him and trying to just dogpile the point, and it's not working out for Immortals.
Yeah, I do agree. Maybe somebody is coming down really stealthily right now in the back here. We got them trying to fire some meteor shots and going straight back. And he's trying to get David. David's almost dead, but he got the point. Kill indeed. Looks like they are rushing, but the rush is not going as good as intended here. It looks like they're all going to be dead, and one of them's just going to be back there. And this round's probably going to go to Nexus.
I would posit that, but 10 seconds left, they can get in there. It is possible for a comeback. We have seen bigger comebacks before. Another point to note is that this whole match is made up of best of 5 rounds instead of best of 3 normally. So energy conservation is even more important than ever before.
That is just remarkable. More echo combat indeed. But looks like they are going to just be standing on their ground here, going to be trying to get that beautiful shot. And the first round point and the first win going to the final, the finale. Nexus. Incredible game there from Nexus. Nexus really holding their ground there with their offense positions. Really just getting in. But like I said, from the Immortal side, I really think during capture of the point, they were more staggering and they're more just dogpiling on that point. Not really finding a strategy for their defensive positions, you know, overall.
They are a more flexible team, but I guess when you're as strong as Immortal is, or sorry, as strong as Nexus is, it doesn't really matter how flexible the other team is. As long as your methods work, you don't really have to change much. So it's a shame. It's a bittersweet win for Nexus, in my opinion. But they always stick to the same positions, but they do work incredibly well, as we saw in that match.
Yeah, I agree. It works incredibly well. But, you know, that was round 1 One best of five, guys. So when we're back, we're gonna be back with the second round of Echo Combat, the grand finale, Immortals versus Nexus. Hello, beautiful folks of the stream. We are in the ECGL grand finale for that $250 dues. And we are in our second match here today. We are doing payload, which is one of my personal favorite modes. But I think this is Immortal's very strong suit game mode. As we seen them get a lot of. I think during the season, I think they got a lot of W's against Nexus in payload. Am I correct on that, Error?
That sounds roughly correct. But David and with Nexus's movement at the state it is right now, it's still going to be a very tight match, in my opinion. These teams have both done very well on payload, and it just comes down to who can do better. Honestly, I'm scared for David's flanking. He's always in the back lines, always pulling defensive attention, and especially when he starts out on offense, that's a strong momentum, like granting ability to have. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a great match here on our second round here. Looks like we are just gonna be waiting for them to start up on here, but you know, it's been a good day here. You know, good day for the finals. Good day for everybody who's watching in the chat. Yeah, it's also it's not like I'm tired. It's like I remember my last cast. I was on the edge of sleeping, but you know I'm wide awake now, and I'm ready to cast as both teams are readying up.
Absolutely. Very fun to see here.
All right, looks like they are gonna try to take their defensive positions any moment now, as I think we're having Nexus. Oh, Immortal's taking the first defensive possessions. It looks like they are gonna go out. Team Nexus on the way to play that heavy defense. Going straight back down onto the field here. Looks like somebody is gonna go maybe onto the top line there. They're looks like they're gonna go a little bit close here, but it looks like they are just setting up defensive positions.
Absolutely. Just doing the Great Flamingo race as is tradition, but seemingly setting up pretty far back. Berg potentially waiting for that push, trying to be a net to just catch David as soon as he comes back there. But it's going to be fun to see Immortal holding very far back. But let's see how it goes.
And guys, they're gonna let Nexus loose like a couple of tigers, and it's out the second round of the grand finale. Which they are gonna go straight back in as Krabby Co. And all of them are just what are they doing? They're all pushing straight back onto the back lines here. Somebody is currently just one back, but the whole team just pushed forward. It looks like they're going to be into a little bit of a midst of a battle here. They're going to go right back down. Krabby Co is going to kill Berg right there. They're going to get the heals indeed. It looks like the flanking and everything's watching. They're just chowing down on these Immortals players like a lawnmower here, and they're gonna push them back. Wow, what an incredible takeaway from Nexus.
Honestly, very well played. Having Robo stay in spawn for a couple of seconds just to make sure that he can avoid detection and avoid any attention being drawn to him. It's almost like they saw an Immortal challenging them by holding farther back and still decided to just charge forward, and it worked out for them.
Looks like Robo Crate is going to be going right back. They're almost at that point. Going to be firing back. Immortals is going to be needing to get a heavy push here if they want to stop it right here. They're going to rush, but the rush was just not ideal there. As it looks like somebody is on there, but they're just taking a lot of damage pressure there. And it looks like they hit the first point.
Absolutely. Rev being potentially staggered here or forced to play on low health and just trying to survive until those doors open. It's very risky. But the momentum is really building for Nexus, and that's a risky thing that you have to stop here because this is one of defensive team's best checkpoints. So let's see if they can capitalize on that and stop Nexus in their tracks.
Looks like Robo Crates is going to be staying there. They're going to be taking their top positions. We got Tenacious. We have Zebra in the back right there, and that back line is going to be firing some shots. We have Berg in the corner here. We have all of them just scattered around, taking their defensive positions. As looks like we have Robo just taking up the Flamingo right now.
Absolutely. David and Nova, those disrupting combos are getting good kills and making sure that Immortal isn't focusing on Robo. Already up to this first hill, that's a challenging choke point that Immortal has already lost.
They're going to be taking that possession. Try to take as much as possible. They're going to be firing a couple of shots down onto the field here. Looks like they're going to be pushing straight back up, trying to get that possession as much as possible here. Burns is going to be taking it. But it looks like a beautiful shot there, a beautiful kill. As these Nexus players, they're just chilling at the moment. They're getting the. It's I don't know what we could see here from Immortals that maybe take it back here. I'm kind of like stumped on that, Air.
Well, hopefully they can, because that would be a really darn shame to just see a full wipe. But it seems like they are pushing out very strong here, tenacious, and it seems like a full team wipe from Immortal. And that's going to be a bad stagger if they get the payload now, as Nexus is doing.
The Flamingo is at the next checkpoint, and they are celebrating. As looks like they're gonna need now. This is the last chance for Immortal to maybe have a good defensive push. Then maybe have it a little bit farther, a little bit shorter away from the endpoint. But looks like things are gonna go into a scramble. As like they are gonna be going for that defensive pressure, getting those kills off. Oh, great kills there from Matt. Just going to be firing his shots as much as possible. It's a little bit spread out. Looks like two of them are going to be just on him right now. Throwing the stunt field. All three of them coming right back together. Trying to get that. They're down. Only. Oh boy, I'm mumbling over my words right now.
Delivery accelerating.
But it seems like they finally stopped the Nova duo from being able to harangue them in the backline there, and seemingly claiming the payload this time, making sure Robo can't just sit on there and get steady progress. Well done on Team Immortal's side. Let's see if they can keep it up for the next 3 minutes and 44 seconds. That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, but the time is ticking down. So it is a possibility here. Looks like the Archers getting the kills they're needing. They're getting that momentum. They're getting those kills and those pressures. They're really holding Nexus back here, which is incredible here. Nexus is kind of just holding back. Krabby trying to go right back down here. Going to try to get the kills as much as possible here. Looks like Zebra is going to be running back. They're going to get that. Burke's going to be into a little bit of a fight. But looks like Nexus is going a little bit down. It looks like Immortal is putting that D in defense.
Absolutely. Nexus waiting for the stagger to resolve itself because Krabby and David are down. This full push could be very dangerous for Immortal, as we can see them coming out right now.
Looks like we are going to be having them come back. The whole team right back together. Maybe they have a plan. But looks like somebody is going to be currently in the back there. Krabby Co. in that back line there. Going to be a great little strategy right there. As looks like they're going to be into a midst of things. Getting that fight. They're just chowing down on these Immortal players. The Immortal players are kind of backing down. They're going to be rushing straight back to the Flamingo. But looks like the Flamingo has went a long way, which is pretty good for Immortals. Because they wasted a lot of time there, and they let that back progression there. But looks like Nexus is going to be taking the Flamingo and getting that progress.
Absolutely, making steady progress with that payload. Nexus seems to have a set of strategies for how many players to devote to what job at a given time, and it's working really well. But Berg putting out work with that stun field and making sure that any movement that Nexus has is quickly removed.
Looks like they're going to be rushing straight back up here. Going to be firing as much shots as humanly possible here. Going straight over here, trying to get that as much as possible. They're going to be rushing straight back down onto the field. We are almost close here. As looks like that might be it. Oh boy, unless they get that last final push. But looks like they are just chugging along here.
Yeah, at this point, it's really rough for defense to reclaim the payload, as you basically have spawn access, and with Meteor and Nova, you can quickly stifle anything. And it seems like they've dunked it, so they have gotten this first point down in impressive time. Well done, Nexus.
Like I gotta say, a slam dunk, taking it to the end. The Flamingos are screaming right now. As ECGL, this has been great finals for Nexus here. But you know, I wanna see some Immortals action. I wanna see them come back here. That's my hope. Maybe a mix to mix. But I would love to see ourselves in a 5th round of the finale here. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a full-on swap, as Nexus is gonna be playing that heavy defense, and we're gonna have a chance to see Immortals play that beautiful offense.
Absolutely, these two teams with remarkably different styles. So let's see if whose defense is better. If Nexus can stifle and crush on both defense and offense, they will be a powerhouse to be considered. If they are, they are. Jesus Christ, my words are failing me. Holding similar positions to Immortal, interestingly. I would think they would hold more aggressively, given how well that worked on Dyson. But let's see how it goes.
We are out, and we are ready for a beautiful match. As it looks like Matt's gonna be clomping onto that flamingo and taking it forward. They're gonna be firing some shots over there onto the line here. It looks like there's gonna be a little bit. Nexus is playing a little bit farther up here. Looks like they're going straight back in. Great little offensive pressure there. Gonna be getting that straight back over as a whole.
Absolutely. These teams are truly doing the best they can. Interestingly enough, Nexus prioritized the payload player, Matt Apara, above anyone else on the team and just kind of crushed him while he was alone. That's one downside to that strategy that's become the meta in some ways.
Looks like they're gonna be taking it straight back up here. The Flamingo is just standing there. They're having that defense, but their Berg's pressing forward as David and him are going to be into a fight. Zebra's going to be clamping onto the point here. Going to be rushing straight back over here. Going to be taking that as much as possible here. As they're just going to be chugging along.
Absolutely. Definitely keeping the pressure on that payload player, making sure they can never sit still and never fully focus on the people in front of them. It's a great strategy. Let's see if it can continue throughout the match.
And hold on, Aaron. Keep talking along. I will be right back shortly. Something important came up, but yeah, just keep commentating.
Absolutely. Nexus doing an excellent job eliminating most of the team here, but the quick respawn times hopefully can pay off for our Immortal here. But it seems like they're just getting stifled absolutely in their spawn. David holding that far up and able to survive with very little health always seems to slip away from your fingers, whether it be through phase or just through eliminating you. It's always very difficult to deal with. Immortal's pushing out here, looking for a side angle, but Krabby is not letting them get to that payload. Really just kind of a Normandy situation, which is the optimal situation for defenders here. Rev getting hit with that Comet shot. That's a great damage tool from whose player is using that? Sorry, Diffluent using that Comet, holding down this angle and doing extremely well in these matches. Matt Opara looking for an angle, looking for some damage just off the splash, just to weaken their enemies as they come in here. Diffluent holding that angle, looking for a shot, looking for any sort of damage that he can slip off and prevent them from having full health when they get to that payload. 30 seconds left in this match. The payload is moving slightly back, and this first choke point is really proving troublesome for Immortal here. Robo goes down to that meteor, but Krabby takes one out with the Nova, and David and Krabby are on the payload like butter and jam, or like butter on toast. We're really doing extremely well, limiting everyone they can see, not even allowing any pressure to get here. Immortal getting a bit potentially nervous here, and it seems like this first match is going to go to the second match is going to go to Nexus again. This puts Immortal in an incredibly precarious situation, as they're now one round away from losing everything. Well played, everyone. Only one more match, or potentially. This is very risky for Immortals. Let's hope they can pull it back in the next match. I think we're going to intermission now, and we will see you as soon as we get back with that third map. I'm excited to see what they pick.
everybody. Sorry about that. Last thing, important stuff came up, but looks like we are in the third round as Nexus has won the last match, making it 2-0. So could this be the potential finale, and could Nexus walk away with the $250 dues, or will Immortals give it their all to progress to a fourth round?
Team comes out on top here. Retro, you cut out there for a little bit. Can you speak? I just want to make sure everything's working.
Oh, what's up, everybody? What's up, stream? What's up, chat? What's up, everybody?
All right, sorry, I just had to confirm.
But yeah, who do you think Immortals will get a grand comeback here? Maybe.
I sure hope so, but this map can really favor momentum, especially without a lock between the first and second checkpoints. With David and Krabby's movement, they can really keep the defensive team trapped in that spawn for a long time and just really get that movement going. And hopefully, on this first push, David and Krabby are stopped in their tracks. Otherwise, it's going to be a full roll from Nexus, and that'd be a shame to see.
Be a shame to see indeed, but the game must go on, as looks like they are going to be taking their defensive positions, and looks like they're going to be going straight back out here. Looks like they're going to kind of be in the back here, as Zebra and all of them are going to be pushing straight up into the back here, which is, wait, they're all in the back here.
Absolutely. It looks like they're either waiting to push on to any players holding the payload, kind of mimicking Nexus' strategy from that second round, or maybe they're just waiting for Krabby and David to push on a point. It's really exciting to see how these teams adapt to each other. We have a translocator set up back in that spawn, so they may be playing a little riskier this time.
Looks like they are. It looks like they're just playing hide and go seek right now. Oh, well, looks like they're coming back. I think their strategy worked. Getting Krabby killed right back low. They're all gonna be pushing straight back on him. They're all gonna be dead. Incredible strategy there from them. From them overall.
Absolutely, but that was a lot of tech usage from a lot of resources wasted or used by Immortals here. All of their detonators and all of their ordnances are down, and it seems like that's going to turn the tides in this next battle.
The push, I saw the vision of that defensive push, but it didn't work out as it's intended. It looks like they're all going to go straight back on the Berg. It looks like the Fuse Jet is going to be pushing straight back up onto that Flamingo, getting that progress down onto the field. Nobody to really push up onto their point, as they're all just in this back line. They're all really pushing to the back here.
Absolutely. If you can keep everyone off the initial point, you can't really let them near the payload, and therefore you automatically win, as we see with this first checkpoint. Tenacious using that translocator to try and get back to point, but it's just not panning out for her.
Great momentum, great strategies. The encore, I'd have to say. Going straight back down, as looks like they are going to be progressing forward here. It looks like they're going to be into a little scruffle into this big giant room here where the locks are. They're going to go straight back out. They're going to be pushing as much as possible. Going straight over. Berg's going to be pushing up. They're going to go straight around. Going to get enough kills as the mat's low right now. But looks like they are just pushing along here.
These teams are doing exceptionally well at just keeping it moving. Nexus holding them back with 3 minutes and 27 seconds this close to the second checkpoint. Things are looking very dire for Immortals in this first round.
Immortals coming straight back, all teammates at full health, trying to get it back. Could Immortals play heavy defense here and kill the Nexus players? But looks like they all just went down. And with going down, they go to the second checkpoint. And only one more checkpoint to go into a victory. First round victory for Nexus.
Absolutely. And that was a long spawn timer, giving Nexus a premium amount of time to just set up in this back line and not allow any sort of a proper setup to stop the payload from moving forward up this hill. So that's really devastating to see for Immortal.
Yeah, I noticed that they just set up really, really well when it comes to their offensive pressure Nexus during this whole entire season. But looks like Immortals is looks like they're gonna be into a little battle right here as David is gonna be pushing straight back up here with Berg. Berg going straight back into the back, using it. But looks like Immortals is gonna be pushing straight back up as all their team members are back. But looks like the Fuse Jet is just pushing straight onto that Flamingo, getting a lot of that good progress here.
Absolutely. Diffluent Jet doing an excellent job. It's almost, it seems almost like that the phase shift usage from Berg and a lot of Immortal players, particularly Matt as well, is almost hamstringing Immortals in a way because they're forced to use, to just back up instead of actually playing offensive and stopping any momentum. But they seem to have done so in good amounts here. But Robo's back. Let's see if they can keep it going and just hold this position for 4 minutes.
I do agree with you. It looks like they are going to be pressing straight back up onto this point right here. Going straight back over onto here. You're going to be throwing it straight back over here as it looks like they are going to be trying to get that possession onto the Flamingo. They're pushing it up. The Fuse Jet taking it as they're just going to be chowing down on these kills right now. But I have to say, isn't Immortal's spawn timer a lot shorter here?
It is somewhat shorter, but it is decently long, and these positions are not optimized to let them out of spawn in any way. So it's very hard to get out of there. So that accounts for a bit of extra time. But it
Well,
seems like
here's the ball of the pressure, and they're pushing straight back up. And first round victory, obviously, going to Nexus here. What's your thoughts on this, Air?
well, I think they just really have to get that momentum going and hopefully reach at the same time so they can capture this last round. They have shown themselves to kind of win at in attrition matches, so hopefully they can force Nexus's hand in making this an attrition match.
This is Immortal's last chance to get a potential win onto the board to go into the fourth round, or Nexus will take the cake, the slice of cake home, and they'll eat it up. But it looks like looks like that we're gonna have Immortals playing on that offensive position, and it looks like we're gonna have Nexus playing on that D for defense. So it's gonna be great as Krabby Co is gonna be going straight back down as Team Nexus flying over to take their defensive positions.
Absolutely. Both of these teams are going to have a tough time on this last match, and I'm excited to see how it goes. Nexus seemingly switching it up for the defense, especially with their weapon choices.
Yeah, I took a note of that as well. A lot of good swaps for their weapon choices. But looks like they're going to be pushing straight back up here. Round two has officially started on the ECGL Grand Finals. Looks like you're going to straight back there. Going to be going over. Looks like you're going to be progressing into that back line. They're pushing up forward. Great push there. It's a little bit of scrambles. Looks like they're going to be into a fight. Nice kill there from Robo just dying there. Looks like Matt is going to be getting that grand possession there.
Some tips being taken again from Nexus. David's shield use became kind of prolific in public matches, and Tenacious making good use of it to survive meteor shots that would usually kill her. It's well done on all parties here.
I do agree. I do agree. Looks like it's going straight over here. Gonna be taking that over. They're almost. Here's the thing. They're almost at that first checkpoint, so they are doing really. Immortals is doing really well. Looks like they're trying to push that, and they have pushed it to their advantage there, not letting them get to that first checkpoint.
Absolutely, but David putting in work with that comet from the ceiling, no one's putting any pressure on him, and that's a problem that Immortal really needs to solve, or else he's just going to be getting shots and weakening them as we see right now.
And looks like they have reached the first checkpoint. Incredible from Immortals. Immortals really pushing up on their offensive game. So that's just incredible to see here. And like you said, this could be a swoop around. They could do a little bit more better on their offense.
But Nexus is not allowing any sort of momentum build, as we see here. They're holding all the way forward somewhere in the first checkpoint. That's a risky push, but it is paying off for them, even with the stagger.
I do agree. They're pushing straight back up through the tunnel. This as looks like we're gonna have to see Nexus take their defensive positions here. Gonna be shooting up as much as possible here. Rolling straight back down onto the field here. We got David coming straight back down. They're trying to get a couple of kills as possible. Great cinematic kills from there. Really holding them back in this tunnel here. Now all they need to do is just set up some defensive positions for 2 minutes.
Absolutely. The threat scanner really helping David find those last picks and confirm the kills there. Let's see if Immortals can get past that and anticipate the surprise.
Looks like we're going to go straight back down here. Diffuse Jet's going to be taking straight back up onto the point here. As looks like it is going to go straight back from the top. Going to be shooting that possession as much as possible. Staying back onto the back lines. Rev's taking it straight back up here. Going straight back up from the top. Nobody really touching that Flamingo or pushing straight back up on that Flamingo. As just Nexus is really holding down on their defense.
Absolutely. You know, we've praised Immortal's movement, but I think it's really kind of becoming the king of Nexus's strategy, or the centerpiece of it, as being able to rotate players in and out with good health values is really paying off for them.
You know what I would call this era? I would call this the tunnel of death. Because from what I'm seeing, anybody who enters this tunnel dies here. If you think about it.
Absolutely. It is a very dangerous position, if that's your meaning. But it seems like Immortal has sort of launched a distraction and forced a lot of Nexus players further back and made them kind of give up that foxhole positioning.
I do agree. They are kind of pushing a little back a little, and they're letting them progress through the tunnel here. Going to be putting up that shield as much as possible. Zebra's going straight back down. Looks like Immortals is just, heavily offensively and pushing. They're having that great momentum here, Air, really pushing them back here, which is giving them that good progress here. But it would be ideally a good time for Nexus to get to kill them here, because there is only 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining, which is not a lot of time, and they did pull it off.
Absolutely, doing an amazing job using that upside down orientation. In that final room, there is a lot of cover on the ceiling, and it's very hard to get a good angle on anyone holding that position, so it's a very strong position. That's why we love seeing people like Monkey Bananas hold that ceiling. Always does a great job there.
Looks like they're going to be taking it back here. Oh, barely at the last moment here, but they're going to be pushing straight back up. So much time added onto the clock. For if I was Team Immortals right now, I'd be going, whew.
Hold on. We are seeing a potential rule violation here from Immortals with 3 Novas. I can't. Oh no, sorry. That's a mischaracterization. Tenacious is using. I believe that's Starburst. My apologies. The icons are tricky.
Yeah. I've noticed it. It could. I don't think it is the same gun.
It is not. I've just seen her shooting it, but yes, there's a potential problem.
Alright, yeah, we're gonna keep on progressing here. Looks like they're gonna be taking it straight back up. Immortals just needs to reach that last checkpoint here for order to make it into a third round here. Going straight back over here, Diffuse Jet taking it straight back up and get the kills as much as possible. You know I want to know your opinion on this. What are we seeing from Immortals here that is letting them progress so farly this game? What's on Nexus? Okay, you go, bro. I'm sorry.
My apologies. Well, as we were seeing, they did just undergo a full team wipe, so that is not the best case for your point there. But I do agree that we are seeing some good team aim and focusing on one target. But any sort of deviation from that is very damaging. That was a great stun field. I want to highlight that. That was excellent shots from Krabby, stunning almost the entire offensive team there. Well done.
That was incredible. Absolute cinema, I would say. But looks like they are going straight back over. They're going to be pushing straight back up. Going to go right back to the Flamingo. As Nexus is going to really have to give it their all to not let them reach that last point here. Berg's taking it over here. They're going straight back down. We're in the double digits now. So it's kind of getting a little scary here. Nexus, they are holding their defensive ground really well.
Absolutely. Nexus is doing an excellent job just keeping constant pressure on. I think that's the two words that I would characterize their strategy with is constant pressure. Another fantastic stun from Krabby getting mad and tenacious there. They're just keeping constant pressure, making sure no one can auto heal. It's all very well done from Nexus.
30 seconds remaining onto the board. Air, I am on the edge of my seat here because this could be the potential finale here. As they're going to be trying to take back on that possession of the Flamingos. 10 seconds, and this could be all over. They have it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that is going to be the winners of the ECGL Grand Finale going to Nexus.
Absolutely. That was a very fun match to watch, and this was a very fun round in particular. Well done on both teams' parts here, but especially well done Nexus. That constant pressure really forcing good fights and good fights only for them really paid off in a big way.
Ooh. It has been the best of the best preseason ever, and I've been honored to just cast during the season, and I'm also honored for just trod every single team for giving me this opportunity, and even you, Air, for just being the best co-caster that I can be. It's really emotional here to come to an end, but Team Nexus is going to be taking that lovely cash prize and just the W overall. But hey, maybe in the next season, season 1, we might see a little bit of difference. Maybe we'll see Immortals win. Maybe we'll see a bunch of new teams come in. But it's been a great season. Aaron, what was your thoughts on this season overall?
Okay. Overall, I thought this was a very excellent season. I think some teams are going to improve massively in the break. They're going to develop strategies. They might even watch some of these VODs and learn from Nexus. And I hope this will be an interesting match with an ever-changing meta. I hope the meta doesn't ever get stuck in one place like we're currently sort of seeing with payload offense strategies.
And just remember, guys, Echo Combat and Echo Arena might be dead, but the community will live on. And it's just incredible that we can easily be casting Echo Combat or Echo Arena. So just shout out to the developers who got the servers back on and all that. But you know what? It's been a beautiful stream. And guys, I'm your caster Retro Cat with your lovely analyst and co-caster, Aaron Name Not Found. This has been a beautiful finals. GG's to Immortals and GG's to Nexus. And to remember to stay retro.
Sounds like a them problem.
Yeah. That's not our problem.
The league players. It's game on!
Starting match.
Fifteen.